They actually think that what's been going on here can be viewed as a type of rebellion.
Now at noon, the legal fight over the National Guard's deployment to Portland isn't over yet. Details on the latest decision from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals as the trial at the center of it all gets underway. Then,
Jamaica has gone through what I can call one of its worst periods. Our infrastructure has been severely compromised.
we are continuing to track Hurricane Melissa and the destruction left in its wake across the Caribbean. And later,
whenever there's group feedings, he tends to monopolize and get his fair share before the girls can come in and eat. So he definitely thinks he owns the place.
The only male member of the Oregon Zoo's lion family turns 18 on Sunday. And for that, we're making him the focus of our latest Drew at the Zoo segment. KGW News at noon starts right now.
And with the Ninth Circuit Court agreeing today for this reconsideration and putting a stay on the other three-court judge is just one more important note to the nation that we're doing everything right.
And that was Portland Mayor Keith Wilson after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals reached a new decision which halts the deployment of National Guard troops to Portland for now. The Ninth Circuit agreed to rehear the case, essentially throwing out last week's split ruling by three judges that greenlit the troops. Thanks a lot for joining us this noon. I'm Tim Gordon. Meanwhile, the lawsuit at the center of it all, Oregon and Portland fighting the Trump administration's decision to deploy the troops, has gone to trial today. And during the trial, the city and the state aim to prove that bringing National Guard members to Portland is not the right response to what's been happening at the city's ICE facility. Portland police are also expected to testify about federal agents using excessive force outside the ICE facility. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield says the case goes beyond local control and is really about checking presidential power. The federal government argues the president's actions were justified, pointing to violence against officers and damage to federal property. Legal experts say the case is far from over and could help define just how far a president's power can go when it comes to sending National Guard members into U.S. cities.
What will happen then is whoever does not succeed on the merits will then appeal that decision to the Ninth Circuit and then possibly also at some point to the Supreme Court.
Now, the trial's expected to last 3 days, but we don't know how long it'll take to get a final ruling. In the meantime, the temporary restraining orders blocking National Guard deployment to Portland remain in place. Developing right now, Alaska Airlines dealing with another technology outage. The airline says its website and mobile app went down this morning, just days after a system failure grounded flights nationwide. Alaska blames the latest disruption on a global outage impacting Microsoft's Azure platform, which runs key parts of its online systems. Alaska says it's working with Microsoft to fix that problem. Last week's outage forced the airline to cancel more than 400 flights, stranding nearly 50,000 passengers across the country. Taking a break from the news headlines now to let you know about a new development here at KGW, and you're seeing it right there. Our KGW weather deck just got a major upgrade. Meteorologist Rod Hill is standing by on the deck, and Rod, looks like you got a guest up there. What would you like to talk about?
Well, for the first off, I want to say in a perfect world, it would be pouring rain right now, because the point of our beautiful new cover is that the weatherman doesn't like getting wet. Taylor Stanley, step on in. Taylor's with Rick's Custom and Fencing, Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. Let me get that right, the sponsor of our weather deck. But we're so excited because we're going to be using this space during the rainy season now.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I called my local weatherman and asked if we could have a beautiful day up here just to show it off. But in the future, you now have a space where you can do all your winter weather reports.
And you and I were talking. We had the winds gusting to 40 or something over the weekend. It was in my mind. How's the deck cover going to be? You say no problem.
Absolutely. All of ours are tested to withstand weather far, far more extreme than we would ever have here. So this cover is perfect for Northwest homeowners. This can go over your existing pergola. So if you have an existing structure, you want to add some Four Seasons living, you can do that, or you can build you a brand new one.
I want that stat. Give me the wind stat that this was tested for.
139 mile per hour winds. That's a Dade County, you know, they test these against far, far more extreme weather than we would ever have here.
And if you don't know, Dade County down in southern Florida. So it's basically, that's category 2-3 hurricane speeds.
Yeah.
So we're okay.
I think we should be fine. You tell me.
Well, I love it. All right. Thanks for making time to join us today.
Absolutely.
I don't need my cover today, but I'm looking forward to when it finally rains. Yes. Let's get you to some weather maps, and we're going to go to our Lincoln City sky camera. It's beautifully sunny after we had the morning fog. The coast never had the fog. Lincoln City is gorgeous right now. Let's show you some more sky cameras. I think we have Salem coming up. Oh boy, the fall foliage from our Salem sky camera. Look at that. It's been so pretty. 56 degrees, been sunny there all morning. There was never any fog. The Rose City camera now showing off the sun after the morning fog that we had. Here comes the Rose City camera in Portland. I will tell you, up here on the KGW weather deck, it's just gorgeous. We're trailing behind at 51, but I think we'll catch Salem as the day progresses. Here is the day planner. I've got us warming all the way up to at least the upper 50s, and maybe we have a chance to hit 60 this afternoon at 4 p.m., and then we'll still be in the 50s at 8 p.m. this evening. I do want you to promise you'll come back with me just one time, Taylor, when it's absolutely pouring rain. Will you do that?
Absolutely. It's my promise.
Because we'll be ready.
Yes, we'll be ready. We'll test it.
Hey, we will get into your 7-day forecast and talk about Halloween in my complete forecast coming up. For now, live from the KGW weather deck, brought to you by, say it,
Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking.
That's it for now.
There it is. Looking good up there. Thanks, Rod. We're learning more about the damage left behind after Hurricane Melissa slammed into several countries in the Caribbean. Officials are reporting that dozens of people are dead and many are missing. In Haiti, at least 25 people were killed and dozens of homes collapsed when the Ladigue River overflowed its banks. Officials called the situation overwhelming as rescue teams struggled to reach survivors trapped under rubble and mud. Melissa also made landfall in Cuba overnight as a Category 3 hurricane. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel said the storm brought significant damage to the island, but that recovery efforts would begin, quote, as soon as conditions allow. And in Jamaica, crews are working to clear roads and remove downed trees as the island continues to deal with widespread flooding and debris in the wake of that storm. Jamaican officials said they're hopeful that mass evacuations worked to protect residents from the worst of the storm.
But we are hoping that there is minimal, if any at all, as it relates to death arising from the passage of Melissa.
Now, the Bahamas are next in Melissa's path as the hurricane is forecast to track over that country late this afternoon and into the evening. We'll keep following that for sure. Back here locally, one person is dead after a house fire this morning in southeast Portland. It happened just before 3:45 on southeast 124th Avenue. Thomas Schultz has the details.
Well, all morning long, fire investigators have been here on scene in southeast Portland looking into the cause of this fire. You can see right behind us, they actually cut a hole in the roof. They're spraying water through it right now, and there is still a little bit of smoke coming out of that hole. Firefighters arrived around 3:45 this morning to find smoke coming out of the roof and back of the home. Officials say bushes surrounding the house and inside was very cluttered, making it really difficult to enter. Still, in a matter of minutes, crews got in the home and found a victim inside. That person was taken outside where they received first aid. Unfortunately, they didn't make it and were pronounced dead.
Our primary responsibility and job as firefighters is to save lives. And so it's always a difficult situation. You know, you get that big win of finding the victim, and then only to find out that the person is, you can't resuscitate that person.
Just after 4 o'clock this morning, firefighters were able to extinguish the flames. Of course, the investigation is still ongoing. There's a lot we don't know here still, like the name of the victim involved, their age, or whether they're a man or a woman. We also don't know the cause of this fire. That's still under investigation. In southeast Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Well, Oregon, Washington, and 23 other states are suing the U.S. Department of Agriculture for suspending SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. More than 40 million people across the country use SNAP benefits. That number includes more than 750,000 right here in Oregon. State Attorney General Dan Rayfield calls the decision to suspend SNAP both cruel and illegal.
Anytime that there's a shutdown, they pass a contingency fund. And every president has used this contingency fund to make sure that Americans, Oregonians, have food during a shutdown. This is the first time in our country's history where we've had a president who said, you know what, I'm going to use food benefits for a political tool.
The Department of Agriculture, meanwhile, says those funds are not legally available.
They were just laughing like it was a joke. Like they did not care. Like there was no heart in them. Like
a Gresham woman claims federal immigration agents detained her yesterday for taking pictures of what she believed were unmarked ICE vehicles. Oregon Representative Ricky Ruiz posted the woman's story on social media with a video from a witness. We talked to the 23-year-old who wanted us to blur her face. She says after taking the photos, agents stopped her at a red light, arrested her, and took her to the Portland ICE building, where they told her it was illegal to take the pictures.
they changed my legs up and they put me in a cell for 7 hours. They wanted to ask me questions and record it, and I refused to answer any questions because I was really scared and I didn't trust them.
Now, according to the ACLU, people have the right to take pictures of federal agents and police when they are lawfully present in a public space, but agents can also order citizens to stop if they're truly interfering with law enforcement operations. We reached out to ICE for comment on this case and have not yet heard back.